That's right. Democrat Jan Schakowsky of Illinois knows these issues well. As a member of the Deficit Commission, she's with me now. And first of all, I got to talk to you about the immediate fight. We're going to see a budget shutdown, a federal government shutdown on Friday?
Unclear, because the Republican Party is in disarray right now. The Republicans in the House can't seem to figure out how to get their proposal together. We're talking now perhaps about a week extension again of the budget. Will that include a demand for more cuts? Who knows? The Republicans and John Boehner doesn't seem to know himself.
Well, the offer they put on the table, at least a temporary one week, $12 billion in cuts. That's substantially more we've seen in the weekly pace of some of these spending measures. Democrats going to reject that? Are we basically headed for a stalemate?
Well, at some point we have to draw a line in the sand, because these cuts are so devastating. We're talking about cuts on education and Pell Grants and on health care and infrastructure investments. And so what we're talking about is creating more unemployment. At the same time, we're doing nothing about tax breaks for the oil companies. People ought to be mad at that when they go to the pump. They're still paying for tax breaks for the oil companies.
How confident are you that if there is a shutdown, that it's going to play to the advantage of Democrats, as it did in the 1990s?
I think it possibly could, but nobody wants to have a shutdown that's reasonable. And I think even John Boehner doesn't want to have a shutdown, but he is held hostage by his Tea Party members, and I think doesn't know quite what to do with them.
You share something in common with House Budget Committee Chairman Paul Ryan. You both served on the Deficit Commission. You both voted against the Deficit Commission plan as it came out. What do you make of his new proposal? He's talking about $6 trillion in spending cuts over 10 years. He's going even further than the Deficit
I guess
Commission.
What I resent the most is that he's called it a moral issue and that all of us are going to have to sacrifice. Actually, he's asking for big sacrifices of the middle class and the elderly in our country. He is, even Bloomberg said, phasing out Medicare as we know it, cutting Medicaid for the poor and for seniors that are in nursing homes. And I think he's really suggesting that we privatize Social Security. We haven't seen the details. Huge cuts that are going to increase unemployment, that are going to affect the middle class. I think it's irresponsible and certainly not a moral issue.
Medicare, Medicaid, 23% of the federal budget right now and rising. His argument is, listen, they'll still continue to grow under my plan, but not grow as quickly because we can't afford it. We're making promises we can't keep.
You know what? The median income for elder Americans is $18,000 a year. That's with everything. We've got 400 Americans that own as much wealth in this country as 150 million Americans. This kind of disparity in income is not healthy for our economy or our democracy. Let's look at people who really can afford to pay. As Willie Sutton said when asked, why do you rob banks? Because that's where the money is.
All right, Congresswoman Schakowsky, thank you
you
very much for joining us. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky of Illinois.